I'm going to show you how to reveal more items by clicking on this icon. We got a container here, we got a video, you could have other items as well. But if I go and click this icon, it reveals further information. It doesn't matter where I click, it won't take me out back until I hit the close icon. This is not a pop-up. This is just a couple of containers and a funky bit of code. Let's get started. And you can do this with a parent container and child containers inside. I've actually got a parent and two child containers side by side. Don't worry about the size of them. Into child 1, we're going to drop in 2 more containers. One of them will be visible from the get-go, but then when you click on an icon, another container will appear over it. So onto child number 1, or into child number 1, we're going to drop in a container. I'm going to call it sub hide because that is the one that will be hidden. I'm going to set the content width to be full width, which is quite important, and I'm going to set the height to be 400. You got to do this to the sub-child or the ones that are basically going to be shown and hidden. If you don't set the size and you got one that's 300 and then the one that appears as 400, if you're not careful, it'll be blatantly clear that another one has kind of appeared over it. If you don't mind it being bigger or smaller, fine, but I would say definitely get the sizes to match. Now into this sub-child, we're going to go and add in a background color, and I'm going to give it a border radius as well of 15. And all we're going to add is a heading and an icon. I'm going to click back onto my container, the sub-hide one, and we'll go for space between. And I'm going to add in a bit of padding as well. The idea is that you will click this icon to make the other item appear. So let's just change that. I'm going to change it to be a stacked arrow. I've also made the size be 20, and I'm going to give it a background color like that. So we have our arrow. It's clicking that will make the change appear, not when you hover, okay? That's quite important. You can add in videos, images, and accordions either. Remember, it's not until you click the arrow. In fact, I will do it here. Let's just go and drop in a video, and I'll show you that even when you click the video, that will play, and it's not until you click the icon. Now, the final thing we're going to do here is go to the Advanced tab, go to where we have the CSS ID, and I'm going to call this cont111, container 1, okay? But I'm just putting cont111 so that when you see the code, it's easy for you to identify what I changed. Then I'm going to go to the icon, and I'm going to go to the Advanced tab, and I'm going to call this one icon111 as well. Of course, you would choose better syntax terminology for your naming, okay? But I'm just keeping it really simple, cont111 and icon111. Then I'm going to copy that container. So we're just going to duplicate it, and it should go directly beneath. Now, here's something you do have to watch out for. There will be a gap. So in the child container that contains everything, I recommend you go and zero out all of those gaps, right? There must be no spacing there, okay? They must be bang on against one another. Let's now go to sub hide. So this is the duplicate one. We're going to change this now to be called sub show. And before I modify what sits inside of here, let me now go over to the Advanced tab, and I'm going to change this or cont222. And if you go to the icon, I'm going to call that one icon222. So remember, we've now changed the ID for this container and for the icon. I am going to change the icon. I'm going to go for the plus symbol, which looks like that. You don't actually have a proper X, you have the minus. And if you try and use the closed, they don't work or look really well. I mean, look at that. I really don't like that. So what I recommend you do is go and get the plus, that one over there, right? So you can have the circle one if you want, but just get the plus like that. Then go to the style tab and just rotate it by 45 degrees like that. And you kind of get the cross. Works quite well, right? I'm now going to change the background color just to demonstrate that this is working. Change the heading to be white, and we will get rid of the video that we had. And instead, we'll go and drop some text in. So we got 2 very different containers. And here comes the clever bit. Make sure you're on the child container. To be honest, you could put this anywhere on the page, but I tend to say if you're going to stick in any HTML or JavaScript, you know, specifically for something on the page, it's not a bad idea to put it in the same container or parent container that contains them. Now, in the child container that contains the 2 sub-childs, I'm going to go and pop in a HTML widget, and I'm going to stick it at the top, and I'm now going to paste in this code. And as soon as you paste in the code, sub show, the second one that had the text in the black background, is disappeared. It is still there, but if you look at the code we've added, it's now the opacity for it is set to 0. It's invisible. I've also said make the margin of top of it be -400, because if you don't do that, it will be invisible. And if you've got any items below, you're still going to have a 400 pixel gap. I don't want that gap at all. So I've said minus 400. And at the moment, it eases out as 0 0.5 seconds. If you want to adjust that, do that. You'll see it when I click it. It eases in and it eases out. Now, here's the clever script bit, okay? We start off with cont222. To be honest, there's nothing in here for cont111. I've done that, though, just to get you in the habit of naming it, because you might later on want to modify this code, and you can do so. So cont222, you can see what it says here. It says, from the get-go, do not display. In a way, I'm reinforcing what we've already got here, but I put it in twice just to make sure it's not visible. Then, when you click on icon 111, that is this arrow, then it will make cont222, the second container, show. Okay, the opacity becomes 1. And if you then click on the second icon, which is now the X, which is icon 222, it will then hide container 2. So from the get-go, container 2 is hidden. You click icon 1, container 2 appears. You click the second icon that is on container 2, and container 2 disappears. Let's go and see it in action. So when we preview it, we can see container number 1. I can hit the play button. So imagine you got other items in there. So if you want to click or whatever, you might have a call to action button as well. Accordion toggle, of course, bear in mind how tall it is and make sure you accommodate that. But you don't see the second container until you click this icon. And there it is. And like, look, it doesn't matter where I click, I'm not being taken back to container number 1 until I hit the X. And there's that little transition of 0.5 seconds. Yeah, I know the video is still at the end, but that's just because I popped in the video, because I wanted to show you how this does work even when you got clickable items inside. That was done with some HTML, and you can go and click the link in the video to go get that. Tomorrow, there's going to be another video where we go a stage further, and what I show you tomorrow is going to blow your mind. Hey, I'm Imran, Web Squadron. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. I'll see you soon.